For generations, Coca-Cola has been more than a beverage. It's a cultural icon, a symbol of joy and togetherness. From its inception, it has been a part of countless family gatherings, celebrations, and everyday moments. Woven into the fabric of American life, Coca-Cola has been present at barbecues, diners, and living rooms, creating a sense of community and shared experience. Its red and white logo evokes memories of celebration and comfort, symbolizing optimism and unity across eras. Whether at a holiday party or a casual get-together, Coca-Cola has always been there to enhance the moment. Decades of advertising didn't just sell soda, they sold a feeling, making Coke an ambassador for American culture worldwide. These ads connected people across different backgrounds and geographies, uniting them under a common love for the drink. By 2025, Coca-Cola's global reach and logistics were unmatched, its presence so universal it became a benchmark for globalization. The brand's ability to adapt and thrive in various markets made it a symbol of international success. But this deep integration made the events of 2025 all the more shocking. The company, which seemed invincible, faced unprecedented challenges that tested its resilience and adaptability. The U.S. government was about to implement a policy that would strike at the heart of Coca-Cola's operations. New tariffs threatened to disrupt the supply chain and increase costs, posing a significant threat to the company's stability. The story of Coca-Cola's struggle with new tariffs is a lesson in how even the most stable icons can be shaken by economic nationalism. It highlights the vulnerability of global businesses to political and economic shifts, reminding us that no entity is too big to be affected by change. In 2025, the Trump administration imposed steep tariffs on imported steel and aluminum, sending shockwaves through the global economy. These tariffs, some of the highest in decades, were designed to protect American industries from foreign competition and revive domestic manufacturing. The move was met with both hope and anxiety across the country as businesses braced for the impact of higher raw material costs. The administration's goal was clear: to boost domestic manufacturing, create jobs, and restore America's industrial might. Factories across the nation prepared for a potential resurgence, but uncertainty loomed over how the new tariffs would play out in practice. Rates soared up to 50%, disrupting global supply chains overnight. Companies that relied on imported metals suddenly faced skyrocketing expenses, forcing them to rethink their sourcing strategies and production schedules. Industries from automotive to appliances faced sudden cost spikes, scrambling to adapt. Many manufacturers paused production while others rushed to renegotiate contracts or find alternative suppliers, all in an effort to stay afloat. Retaliatory tariffs from other nations soon followed, hurting U.S. exporters and farmers. American agricultural products piled up at ports, unable to reach foreign markets, while global trade tensions escalated. The policy, meant to protect American industry, ended up hurting many productive sectors. Small businesses, in particular, struggled to absorb the higher costs, and some were forced to close their doors. For Coca-Cola, one of the world's largest aluminum can buyers, the tariffs posed an immediate threat. The company's vast operations depend on affordable aluminum, and the sudden price hike put immense pressure on their bottom line. The company now faced a crossroads: keep prices stable and absorb losses, or pass costs to consumers and risk losing market share. Executives weighed the risks, knowing that either choice could have lasting consequences for the brand. The shockwave from Washington was now Coca-Cola's crisis to manage, as the company navigated a new era of economic uncertainty and global trade tensions. The tariffs hit Coca-Cola's supply chain hard, sending shockwaves through every stage of production. Suddenly, the company's carefully balanced logistics were thrown into chaos, and executives scrambled to assess the damage. The impact was especially severe because Coca-Cola relied so heavily on Canadian aluminum, a crucial ingredient for its iconic cans. Overnight, a dependable source became a costly risk. Costs for aluminum shipments jumped by 50%, blowing apart the company's predictable budget. What was once a routine expense now threatened to spiral out of control, forcing the finance team to rethink every forecast. Domestic suppliers couldn't fill the gap. Only 4 U.S. smelters remained, and they raised prices too. The limited capacity and increased demand meant that even local options were no longer affordable or reliable. Coca-Cola was trapped. Pay more for foreign or domestic aluminum, with no good options. Every path forward seemed to lead to higher costs and greater uncertainty. Absorbing costs would hurt profits and jobs. Layoffs or cutbacks loomed as real possibilities. The company faced tough choices about where to make sacrifices: Raising prices risked alienating customers, many of whom saw Coke as an affordable treat. Even a small increase could push loyal fans to reconsider their purchase. The brand's identity as an affordable pleasure was at stake. For generations, Coca-Cola had been a symbol of simple joy, accessible to all. A price hike could turn Coke from an everyday treat into a luxury, changing how people viewed the brand and who could afford it. The aluminum can, once a symbol of convenience and innovation, became a costly liability, threatening the very foundation of Coca-Cola's business model. Coca-Cola faced a dilemma with no easy solution, caught between rising costs, loyal customers, and the challenge of preserving its legacy in uncertain times. To avoid immediate price hikes, Coca-Cola pivoted to PET plastic bottles, which weren't tariffed. Financially, it made sense, but environmentally, it was a disaster. Already the world's top plastic polluter, Coca-Cola's move drew fierce criticism from environmental groups. Aluminum is infinitely recyclable, plastic is not, and recycling rates are much lower. The shift was seen as abandoning sustainability for profit. The backlash was swift. Images of plastic waste clashed with Coca-Cola's public commitments. The company was caught between economic survival and environmental responsibility. What began as a financial fix became a PR nightmare. In today's world, brand health depends as much on stewardship as on sales. The 2025 tariffs rippled far beyond Coca-Cola, reshaping the entire American economy in unexpected ways. Automakers saw costs surge dramatically, forcing tough choices between higher prices for consumers and potential job cuts. Construction slowed significantly as steel and aluminum prices soared, making new homes less affordable for many. High-tech and appliance industries faced delays and rising costs, impacting production schedules. The tariffs, meant to help some industries, created bottlenecks and inflation for many others. Even within the aluminum industry, leaders were divided over the policy's long-term impact. The lesson is clear: in a globalized economy, no industry operates in isolation from the others. Ultimately, the tariffs' costs landed on American consumers. Prices for soda, cars, appliances, and homes all crept upward, squeezing family budgets. The economy fractured, some industries benefited, but many more struggled. Policy inconsistencies like the copper exemption fueled confusion and frustration. For families, trade disputes became daily challenges as the cost of living rose. Wages lagged behind and dreams like homeownership slipped further away. The tariffs, intended to strengthen the economy, made many goods less affordable. Ordinary Americans bore the brunt at the checkout counter. The Coca-Cola crisis of 2025 is a stark lesson in global interdependence. Tariffs meant to protect one sector sent shockwaves through many others. Supply chains, optimized over decades, proved fragile to sudden policy shifts. Coca-Cola's global success depended on open trade. Tariffs undermined that foundation. The environmental backlash showed that business decisions can't ignore social responsibility. Quick fixes for complex problems often create new ones. Building a resilient economy requires nuanced, forward-thinking policies. In a connected world, prosperity comes from strengthening ties, not building walls.